Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are taking, well, an unflinching look at source material focused on survival at its absolute limit.
Yeah, we're diving into a world that's really struggling. You've got an epic climate crisis, interstellar conflict, and these massive societal shifts just to, make it through.
We are specifically examining the consequences of catastrophe
Mm,
and the moral compromises needed to pull a civilization back from the very brink.
exactly. And our focus is Marika. She's this central figure described as a complex mix of sentimentalism and deadly cold ambition. It's quite the description.
It really is. She's forced to blend these ancient, almost supernatural abilities the Silths touch with some truly extreme technology.
All to save her people, the meth race from an ice age they call the Grauken,
Right.
and at the same time navigate this hidden war that kind of explodes because of the crisis.
It's a dense universe, definitely. So maybe let's quickly set the stage with the players, just so we can jump into the action.
Good idea. So meth is the species, but they're fractured, mainly into two communities. You have the self, they're linked to the old ways, the Neolithic traditions, and these special talents,
Right, the touch. And the other group.
the brethren. Historically, they were the tech guys, the engineers, the ones with the advanced know-how.
Got it. Silth and brethren. Okay, so our mission today.
We're really trying to unpack Marika's journey, trace her path from, starting this huge world-saving project to facing some pretty devastating betrayals.
And ultimately guiding her people toward this, well, technological and kind of terrifying unknown future.
Exactly.
Okay, let's start with the big immediate crisis. What exactly is this Grauken?
It's the root of all their problems, really. The planet's stuck in a long cooling cycle. Seems it's caused by an interstellar dust cloud that's blocking sunlight.
So an ice age. Simple as that, but devastating.
Absolutely. The sources say the permanent snow line is creeping south. The permafrost line advanced super rapidly. We're talking ruin, famine.
Displacement, societal breakdown. The sources mention the inclination to rebellion grew stronger as the cold crept down. It wasn't just physical cold, it was political freezing too.
You nailed it. And faced with this chaos, this certain doom, Marika comes up with a solution. And
Yeah.
it's not modest.
No kidding. The Metal Suns Project.
Right. Which sounds nice, but it's actually space-based solar mirrors. Giant ones.
And the scale here is just, is mind-boggling. She proposes mirrors 5,000 miles in diameter. Did I read that right? 5,000 miles.
You did. Placed in the planet's solar Trojan points, leading and trailing, to basically bounce more sunlight onto the planet.
5,000 miles. That's not just engineering. That's practically reshaping the solar system from the ground up.
Which forces you to ask, like you said, is this just ambition? Or is it deliberately designed to be so huge it forces everyone to comply, instills awe?
Yeah, exactly. And how do you even build that? The resources.
Immense. Titanium girders, this special aluminized plastic her team developed. And critically, the know-how, the skilled labor, the metals, technology, and such.
Which only the brethren have.
Precisely. And this is where you get the Faustian bargain. Marika has to convince the leaders Kiljar, Belkaneki, Bagnall.
Her argument being,
Simple survival logic on the surface. Failure to even try this means a longer, slower, more certain doom. Hard to argue with that when you're freezing.
but Bagnall, her friend, who's brethren himself, he sees the catch, the deep, permanent social cost.
Right. He sees this isn't just about saving the planet, it's about control. It completely reshapes their society.
Because if you need that level of high-tech manufacturing,
Then mechanization in everything from mining to farming, it becomes mandatory. Everywhere. Globally.
and if mechanization is mandatory,
The Brethren are suddenly back in charge. They're the only ones who can run the machines saving the world. The Silth's old ways, their dominance, is basically over before they even start building.
Bagnall gives this chilling warning. He tells Marika she's made the project mandatory simply by stating that it is feasible.
You can't unsay it once the possibility is out there.
If you fail to try, the people will tear you apart. Destruction at the paws of outraged bonds, as the source puts it. The sheer desperation demands they try, demands success.
It's this feedback loop, isn't it? Her ambition creates hope. That hope mandates her vision, and that vision destroys the old social order, all because she said it could be done.
Okay, so this planetary crisis, this massive social shift is brewing. But in parallel, there's a war, an interstellar one.
Right. The sources actually throw us in right after Tellerai and the couple islands get wiped out. Strange weapons, mushroom clouds. It's bad.
Who's the enemy here?
It's the Serke community, another faction, and some allied brethren. They tried to escape in their void ship, the Starstalker, plus a convoy of these dark ships.
And they don't just run.
No, they vaporized their whole rebel facility, severed their back trails completely, made sure no one could follow or get intel. Total scorched earth. Or space, I guess.
And they performed Kalerhag. We need to talk about that.
Yeah, that detail is telling. Kalerhag is ritual suicide. It's described as the ultimate act of desperation, maybe honor, depending on how you see it.
It's an ancient silth rite, but they're using it here in this high-tech conflict to destroy evidence, sever ties. It shows just how deep this conflict runs.
It really does. And this brings us back to Marika, who's hunting them. Her methods are interesting, a mix of the ancient and the cutting edge.
As a silth, she has the touch that lets her manipulate those who dwell. Okay, pause. Those who dwell. What are we talking about? Ghosts. Psychic stuff.
It's deliberately a bit vague, but it seems to be supernatural entities, or maybe powerful mental projections, a unique silth ability, neurological or psychic, that allows for influence, manipulation.
And navigation, right. She uses it for these up and over passages.
Exactly. Fast routes through the void, through non-space. Her trainer, Kiljar, taught her. So she's basically navigating something like hyperspace using psychic powers.
While commanding a ship made of wood and high-tech war, why wood?
Stealth. Pure and simple. Makes her dark ship totally invisible to enemy radar. It's the ultimate low-tech counter to high-tech sensors.
That perfectly mirrors her own internal conflict, doesn't it?
It really does. She's caught between these two loyalties. Her packmates, Grohl and Barlog, they're from her primitive, almost Neolithic background.
But her ambition pulls her towards mastering this complex, dark-faring world of mirrors and void ships. She's living in two realities.
And that conflict becomes incredibly personal and painful with the rise of Kublin, her littermate.
Ah, the antagonist from within. He escapes this place, the Rouge Cloister, Skilljohn's Road.
Yeah, he was basically imprisoned there, forced to translate captured enemy messages. He uses his own silth talent, specifically wehrlen skills, the source calls it, to get out.
But he's different from Marika. He's called a coward, someone who doesn't make desperate moves.
Yet he's ruthlessly effective. Rises fast, becomes the warlock. He leads this rogue meth insurgency back on their home world.
And he cleverly combines technology with talent suppressors, hitting the silth where they're strongest.
Right. He's the internal rebellion, really, exploiting the chaos Marika's huge project created, fighting against that mandatory mechanization.
Okay, so this really sets the stage for the final, pretty devastating part of the narrative.
Yeah, after years chasing them through the void, Marika finally confronts the main Serke champion, Bestrai.
Who's wielding a great black ghost, another one of those entities.
Seems so. A powerful one. The battle is fierce, but Marika eventually overwhelms Bestrai, destroys her ship, and captures the biggest prize imaginable.
Not just victory, but the ship itself. The enemy ship.
No, something even bigger. A derelict alien starship. Half a mile long, apparently called a Gianna ship. Technology far beyond anything the Meth have ever seen.
Wow, okay, that should unite everyone, right? A massive leap forward.
You'd think so, but Marika declares it'll be held in trust for all Meth, shared equally. Which sounds fair, but...
It immediately sparks political fear.
Exactly. The other silth communities, they want that technological edge for themselves. Her attempt at fairness just creates more division and fear.
And while she's dealing with that political mess out in space, things go tragically wrong back home.
Devastatingly wrong. Bagnall, Marika's friend, the scientist, he goes back to the homeworld. He's supposed to be recruiting people to study the alien ship.
But Kublin's insurgency attacks the Ruta Cloister.
And they capture Bagnall. And Grohl, Marika's packmate. And a silth bath named Silba.
Oh no, and Kublin uses his talent, the truth-saying.
Yeah, his wehrlen's talent. He forces it on them. The sources are blunt. Bagnall and Grohl die as a result. Only the silth bath, Silba, is immune.
Marika loses her oldest friend and her key technical advisor, the one who warned her about the social cost from the start. That's brutal.
The weight of that betrayal is huge. Kublin gets his victory, but it's short-lived. Marika comes back, and her reckoning is swift and ruthless.
She proclaims herself mistress of mistresses, taking total control.
Total control. She uses extreme force. That great black ghost she captured, combined with missile tech they salvaged, she just flattens the rogue installations. Pure fear tactics.
This is where the deadly cold ambition really takes over from the sentimentalism.
Completely. She forces Kublin to surrender, but she doesn't kill him.
No. What does she do?
She leaves him alive, defeated, to face the judgment of the other silth leaders. A political death, probably slower and worse.
Wow. And then she deals with the personal loss, Grull and Barlog.
She gathers their ashes, commits herself to eventually holding a proper mourning ceremony for them back in the ancestral lands, the Ponath. She's won the war. She's basically a dictator now, but she had to destroy parts of her own past to do it.
So the internal conflicts are resolved brutally. But then there's the final piece, the aliens who built that ship.
Right. The Serkes found the ship first, studied it for like 20 years, but Marika eventually figures out who built it. Humans. From a sun called Sol. Us, basically.
This is where it gets really interesting for us listening now. How do humans stack up in this universe?
Technologically, superior, definitely. But they're missing something fundamental, according to the Meth perspective.
They lack the touch, that silth consciousness of the all.
Exactly. They're described as spiritually deaf. They don't get the psychic stuff, the connection, the silth feel. Bagnell, before he died, apparently called them traitor males, just focused on the material.
So highly advanced, very capable, but maybe narrow in their perception of reality.
That seems to be the implication.
Yeah.
They're confused by silth powers. It's a completely different way of experiencing the universe.
And Marika, fresh off winning a civil war and averting an ice age, now faces this, guiding first contact.
Yeah. Her biggest challenge yet. She knows the whole future of the Meth race depends on how she handles this relationship with this powerful but spiritually different species. She accepts the old silth ways are gone forever.
Her legacy is just incredibly complex. She's the dictator who saved them, but she did it by forcing technology on them, destroying their traditions, opening the door to this uncertain future.
Absolutely necessary, perhaps, but at an immense cost. She averted doom, but fundamentally changed what it meant to be Meth.
And the irony, right at the end, the conflict just keeps cycling.
It does. Even after Marika wins, the defeated rogues and brethren, they eventually learn from that alien tech. They build their own starship based on the Gianna design.
Forcing another confrontation, it never really ends.
And Marika herself notes something profound. For most Meth living, after all this upheaval, the chaos is the new normal. This high-tech, turbulent world is all they know.
So the biggest change wasn't the Ice Age or the war. It was the forced integration of tech, the end of the old silth dominance.
That's what she seems to conclude. Her compromises, her solutions became the new reality, a reality she had to impose.
Which brings us to a really provocative final thought. It relates back to that ancient rite, Calorhag, ritual suicide.
Yeah, it came back into play when they faced the advanced alien threat. And the sources suggest Marika, the ultimate winner, the leader who secured their future. She starts contemplating it herself.
Seriously, after everything, why?
Maybe to step aside. To make way for the very future she created. A future maybe she isn't suited to lead anymore. It leaves you wondering.
Is true progress only possible when the leaders who forged the change, the ones from the old era, voluntarily make themselves obsolete, get out of the way?
It's a heavy question to end on. Does the architect of the new world eventually become his biggest obstacle? Something for all of us to think about.